and they are hiring. Who cares?
Because they're going to get fired in the next 3 years.
Who seriously gives an F? Because, like you said, they will be fired within 2 years. They'll be gone.
Yep. That's pretty much the Raider tradition as of the past, I don't know how many years, but a long time.
No one wants that job because Reggie McKenzie will probably be retained because he found Khalil Mack and he found Derek Carr. So he should get a little leeway. But who's going to want to work for a lame duck GM who one bad season? GM's going to be gone. GMs like to bring in their own guy, and then head coach will be gone as well after 1 year.
Yeah. I don't see any turning around for the Raiders anytime in the near future.
That being said, John Gruden always seems to have a soft spot in his heart for the Raiders since he coached there before he was traded to Tampa Bay, then won a Super Bowl. But so if they have any shot at getting someone with name recognition or name value or any shred of self-respect, I guess that could be it, but that's still a long shot.
I think so. I mean, it's a pretty cush job in the booth for John Gruden, and he would take a lot of heat eventually, I think, if he said or did the wrong thing in Oakland. So I don't see him.
Moving to the other side of the bay, the San Francisco 49ers, in some sort of convoluted manner, they either fired or Jim Harbaugh simply resigns and walks away. Harbaugh moves on to the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor to coach the Wolverines. Brady Hoke gone. And the next head coach of the 49ers is Greg Roman. Just next man up.
I could see that. I mean, it doesn't feel like Harbaugh and Jed York have that great of a relationship.
Yeah, Trent Baalke either.
Yeah, that guy too. So he could easily be out. You definitely could see a replacement. Now, Greg Roman's probably a great candidate. I mean, he's been spoken to about head coaching out vacancies before. Mm-hmm. So I could see
interviewed by the
being
Vikings
his time.
before we hired Zim.
There you go. I could see him definitely being an option.
Someone else who got interviewed by the Vikings before we hired Zim, Seattle offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell, who I have great familiarity with. He was the offensive coordinator here in Minnesota from 2006 to, I don't know, sometime before Pete Carroll poached him. And he is going to get a head coaching job, and he does this offseason in Carolina. As they move on from Ron Rivera, they go to the other side of the ball, offensive guy, safe, cheap, just the way that Richardson wants it. And Cam can work with a mobile quarterback coach. Darrell Bevell got some good production out of Russell Wilson, even though there's not a ton of weapons, pass-catching weapons up in Seattle. And, we saw early in the season, Bevell bringing some college aspects to the Seattle offense. I think he can do the same with Cam, and I think Cam works a lot better in a non-traditional, non-NFL type offense.
I could see that. I think that Darrell Bevell definitely deserves a shot at head coach position. And you could always see a team going from, one extreme to the other in terms of defensive coach, offensive coach. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll be interested to see how he would do as a head coach when you look at how Gus Bradley's currently doing as a head coach. So I'm just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, poor Gus Bus. Him and Caldwell seem to have the blessing of the mustache shot con, but I don't know. If they turn into 1-15 season, woof, especially after last year.
Yeah, because you thought that they had turned it around for the end of last season, but no, it doesn't seem that way at all now.
Wah, wah, wah. All right, give me a team and a coach they're firing and who is coming in for cleanup.
Good question. If you asked me 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have said Miami. Now, I don't know. Seems like Saban may have saved his job. I think, gosh golly gee.
Gosh golly gee, cacophony.
Pretty much.
The South shall rise again.
Cacophony. Bless you. Minus your LA theory, I could definitely see maybe Jeff Fisher's time being up pretty soon here in St. Louis.
No way. Yeah. Jeff Fisher is like he's like a cockroach after a nuclear bomb. He just stays, just like in Tennessee. He just stays.
Eventually, people get tired of it. Eventually, a coach outstays his welcome. So I find it hard to believe that he's going to be a possibility there in 2015. Now, in terms of who takes his place, I'm not nearly so good on these suppositions as you. I need more clues. I need more to believe in than just to say, oh, they're going to change this direction and try to become a more offensive team and draft a QB who can actually play football.
Tom Brady.
I don't know what's going to happen there.
Thomas, Jerome, Ezekiel, Brady, the third.
Why does everyone have the middle name Ezekiel?
Just kind of happens. All right, so I got 4 fired and hireds left. Let's get the boring one out of the way. Giants, Tom Coughlin, they finally move on. He finally moves into retirement, quote unquote. And Todd Bowles, defense coordinator, Arizona Cardinals. I know he just got an extension, except he has an out if he can get a head coaching job. I think he'll finally get it. He's a great coach, great leader, and I think he will finally get it done in New York because Cowher is not coming out of the booth. That ship has sailed, even though he's got ties to the Mara family. And no, not so much. Todd Bowles, a fresh voice in that Giants locker room, gets that defense right again, and I think it'll be a good match.
Yeah, he's been talked about, and I've seen him interviewed. I get a good impression from him at the same time. I get good impressions of people all the time who become head coaches in the NFL, and then they fail. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
you love Dennis Allen.
No, I didn't.
Didn't Dennis Allen date your mom for a while?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing now. Texas boy, a lot of charm. Also ordered for the female. Swordfish, no Caesar salad, though.
I'll take the house dressing.
We'll take the side salad with the house dressing, please. The last 3 are steaming red hot. First one.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Bears move on from the quarterback whisperer. The pride of St. Louis Park, University of Minnesota Moorhead, Mark Trestman. He gone, and they bring in
Canada.
A big name.
Who?
Michael Shanahan to replace him.
Ew.
Reunites with his bays, Jay and Brandon Marshall. They bring up the band back together just like the Denver days, and they get rolling.
You know, as much as I ew that, because he's turned into rat face, he used to not be so pointy looking. Now he's like really squinty and pointy. Shanahan is.
Nothing wrong with being squinty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. I didn't mean that.
Wait, I got one for you. There you go. That's a good one.
Oh. I'm scared to listen to this later. I'm nervous.
Mike Shanahan with his zone running scheme. Matt Forte. I don't know if he's built up for it, like, Arian Foster, the one cut and go type running back, but I'm sure he'll figure out a way. Spoon. I mean, Alfred Blue, the one cut and go type running back.
Yeah. You need to chill on Alfred Blue, yo.
Yuck. But Cutler, you could argue, had his best years as a young quarterback under Shanahan. Shanahan obviously loved him. And I don't know. Again, it's not in Chicago's nature because they're notoriously cheap. I don't think they'll fire Trestman just so they can keep paying him because I think they're going to be paying Lovie Smith next year too. Who knows? Oh. And then they'll have to pay Shanahan on top of that, and he ain't going to be cheap. So this is kind of a pipe dream, but it's still a pretty hot take.
That is a pretty good one. I must admit, this is the first one that you've gone totally rogue, and I actually see where this makes sense for everybody.
I got one for you. That is not going to make sense. 2 more, and you're going to be flipping something. Falcons fire Mike Smith and hire Nick Saban.
No.
Nick Saban gets another Crystal Trophy, and then the pressure of Tuscaloosa and the unappreciativeness of those Bama fans, he is gone, and they promote Lane Kiffin to be their next head coach. And
no, come on, man. Now you're getting crazy.
Tide does not roll. No, this one actually has some roots. So Nick Saban, Arthur Blank originally wanted Nick Saban in 2003 when he was at LSU. He had to settle for Bobby Petrino. So he wanted Nick Saban. He has decided in the past. One last big payday for Nick Saban. The pressure will be much lower in Atlanta as opposed to Tuscaloosa. And I think Saban, he's got an ego. He still wants to prove he can do it in the NFL since the Dolphins thing did not work out. He has a franchise quarterback, or at least a decent quarterback in place, and Matt Ryan. He's got Julio Jones, his former Bay. If they can get that offensive line, that defense, which is Saban's obvious specialty, they get that together as they move into that brand new vagina-shaped stadium in 2016. Atlanta, Nick Saban. Roll Falcons.
No. And I don't have logic or reason. It just feels wrong. It just feels dirty.
All right, now I say my last bomb for last because I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to blow your mind too soon. But do you have any other coaches that are getting fired and anyone getting recycled?
I mean, Wisenhunt ain't making himself look good this year already, but I don't know. But go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say because you love the conspiracy theories.
The New York Jets fire Rex Ryan and throw an assload of money at either, this is an either one, Gus Malzahn or Kevin Sumlin. Woody Johnson
I can see.
needs some sizzle. Chip Kelly has proven that college coaches can do okay in the NFL. Saban is coming back to the NFL as well. New York Jets, they're going to get it going. They're going to get Marcus Mariota with the number 3 overall pick. Imagine Malzahn, Mariota, Sumlin, Mariota. Come on.
Okay, whenever your crazy conspiracy theories begin to depend on other crazy conspiracy theories to come true, that's whenever I just sit back and roll my eyes a little bit. Because,
Gig'em Jets.
Yeah.
War damn Jets.
War damn Jets. That was pretty rich, dude. I like that. I'm going to use it in real life. Okay. I could see them actually going that direction. But I don't know. I don't think that that team is so inexperienced and young and crappy. They need somebody, I think, with a lot of NFL experience to reshape it.
Well, if you got a young team, what better than a young, fresh voice like a college coach to come on? Like Chip Kelly and the Eagles. You're competing against NFL teams, and a lot of times if those voices don't mesh, then the young guy's voice the young coach's voice would get lost, and then the team would lose respect for him, and it, I think, has a better chance of going south than it does of being successful. Well, a lot of NFL coaches, it's always, what have you done for me lately? And, you know, when Saban failed and when Steve Spurrier failed in the NFL, they're like, oh, you can't hire a college coach. But since Harbaugh has done very well in the NFL, Chip Kelly obviously come in and flip the script a little bit. I think it's going to give chances to a guy like Malzahn, like Sumlin. And, you know, Sumlin can't coach a lick of defense. And how many more years is it going to be? I understand that him and Manziel kind of rebuilt Kyle Field. But how many years of 6-7 win seasons where your defense is just continually getting lit up are people going to put up with in College Station?
Well, it doesn't have to be 6-7. It could be like, I don't know. They could be
even 8 wins.
9-3.
Even 8 wins, 9 wins, and then go to the Inside.com Bowl or the Music City Bowl or whatever.
That's better than no bowl. I mean, I've been on that side of it too. I mean, honestly, being a fan of A&M or Houston, hey, getting to the playoffs is better than not getting to the playoffs. As much as it sucks not going to the big game, I'll take it.
I think Sumlin's a smart guy, though, because he'll understand from what he's seen from Kenny Trill, the rise and fall of Kenny Trill, and then, you know, Kyle Allen is still kind of that he rides one quarterback to move on to the next job. Like he rode Case Keenum at Houston, then he moved on to Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel, he's still on that wave a little bit. Why not move up to the ultimate level, get paid $8 million, $9 million a year by Woody Johnson in the bright lights of New York with Marcus Mariota? Come on.
I'm not anti the idea, but